You've survived another week. Thank you for listening, downloading, and still being a part of the Black Man with a Gun show. Yeah, you heard it right. This week we're talking to the founder of Legally Armed in Detroit, my friend and brother from another mother, Mr. Rick Ector. You can thank Rick for bringing me back.
BlackManWithAGun.com, Kenn Blanchard's Pro-Gun Podcast.
Well, I realize I got some explaining to do, so I'll kind of parse it out and give you the 411 as time goes on. But this week, I want to talk about Rick, longtime friend, gun rights activist. He's our guest on this week's show. The show that is sponsored by CrossbreedHolsters.com and patrons like you at patreon.com/BlackManWithAGun. All right, this week, who brought me back from the dead? You know, this podcast has been sleeping for about a month, and it's been in a coma for almost 2 years. My brother, my friend, Rick Ector. He's a firearms instructor in the most violent city in the world, Detroit, Michigan, Motown. He teaches on personal protection, firearm safety, concealed pistol licensing, and concealed carry weapons. Teaches a Detroit CCW class and self-defense. He is the creator of Legally Armed in Detroit. He is a long-time advocate for the right to keep and bear arms for people who were not represented until probably the last 3 or 4 years like it is now. My friend, Rick, welcome to the show.
Hey, man, again, thank you for having me on the show. Man, I've been on, many times in the past. Man, let me tell you, it's still a thrill to be on the original Black Man with a Gun show, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. It's been a minute. And I said all that stuff about me being gone and resurrected is that the show has been on a hiatus for the last couple of years. My wife got sick, and that kind of threw me for a loop. So we're still dealing with that. It's almost coming to a close. She might come home this week, and
okay. That's good news.
Yeah. So the up and down, the roller coaster ride that I've been on is coming to an end. So it's kind of cool. I'm just tired, man. I'm tired. But that's not why we're here. We're here to talk about a dude who's doing stuff the right way, who's doing stuff for everybody else. What's going on with you, man?
Hey, man, I am living life, living the dream. Biggest thing that's occupying my world right now is gearing up the 11th annual free shooting event for women. It has literally consumed my life for the last couple of months, and we're heading down towards the finish line last sprint until this program kicks off this upcoming weekend. Not this current weekend, but next weekend on the 30th and the 31st. It's going to be the culmination of a lot of work, a lot of conversations, a lot of meetings, few media appearances, man. And it is the great pretext to call my buddy, Mr. Kenn, Black Man with a Gun Blanchard.
Well, I've been watching you on Facebook this last couple of weeks, and I'm watching your storm as you hit all media outlets, and then you're like, "Hey, how about you?" And I'm thinking, dude, you've surpassed me. Keep going. Don't you ain't gotta look back at me. It's all good.
No. It's like bingo, man. I got my car, and I have to put my chip on every one of the little areas on the car, man.
Yeah, this is a free space, man. You're always welcome.
Well, look. Got to give you a call. You know what? You might even be my good luck omen, right?
All right.
But so everything I'm doing right now is geared up for the event, man. It's a passion of mine. It's something to truly look at, something that you started from the ground up and to watch it grow, and to actually help people, man. And the biggest beneficiary of this event is of course, women. You know, I saw a news story about a woman who had been unfortunately assaulted and killed and discarded in the street. And, you know, it was a lot of discussion I had with a lot of friends, including you, man. And I did my first event. I remember I only trained like 50 women, and you were like, good, man. Oh. And I was down. I didn't even know if I wanted to do it again. I was like, all that work I did, and I only trained 50 women.
Only 50.
I'm like, wow.
Only 50.
Only 50. Nobody must want to do this thing. But talk to you, man. You gave me a pep talk, man. It's like, Kenn gave me words I needed to hear, man, and I kept walking that path. And I'm glad I talked to you about it. I'm glad of the advice you gave me, and I'm glad I kept walking, man, because now we're training women by the thousands, man.
What was that number again?
I said we're training women by the thousands, man. I only did 1,000 last year. I did 2,000 the year before during the height of the pandemic. So I'm going to say I want another 1,000 while secretly hoping for more, you know.
Is that many women in Chicago and Detroit?
This is women, yeah, man. And I want to make sure that as many guns as there are women, so I can put a gun in each one of their hands.
Wow. So, what does the event look like?
What does it look like? Well, I'll tell you what. It's a event that's going to go across 2 days at 2 different gun ranges. So, for a participant perspective, they go out to the site and they sign up for a free voucher, ticket, e-ticket, and they show up to the venue. They show their birth ticket. They walk into the gun range facility, and we'll put them in a conference room. They'll have a range safety brief. We'll do the fundamentals of firearm safety. I'll give them a primer of marksmanship, general basic fundamental firearm operation, and then we'll lead them to the shooting area, and they'll pair it up one-on-one with the firearms instructor. They'll shoot anywhere from 10 to 20 rounds of 9mm at a target. And when they're finished, we'll take down their silhouette and try to get a picture of them with their target. And there's like a lot of supporters and that are out there. You know, maybe they want to talk about taking a class, or maybe get their concealed carry permit, or maybe they want to get like firearms legal protection. That's where if you ever have to shoot the gun, you don't have to worry about how you're going to pay for legal representation if your local prosecutor decides to charge you. Maybe sell them a T-shirt, thank them for coming, tell them to post a picture on social media, and tell them to come back next year.
All right. Of the women that you've trained, they've got their familiarization shot. They come in. What's the goal for them?
Well, one goal is to get them familiar with shooting, what's involved. I mean, so many people come that have been wanting to do this whole shooting thing and never had the means or the ability or something to get them out of that rut and actually make them take action. You know, in some areas, you know, talking about guns and shooting, you know, it's still not necessarily PC, even in 2022. But here's the thing. I said at this event, just show up, and you know, you might even meet some other women there, and y'all become like gun range buddies and go on like outings maybe once a month and shoot. You know, it's just been a great social thing, too. And when the event is actually happening and it's unfolding, and to watch the Twitter storm and the Facebook picture feed just blow up with all the pictures and feedback, and then I'll hear from a ton of people that said they never heard of the event. How come I didn't let you know? And I'm like, look, I'm doing everything. I'm even going on Black Man with One podcast.
Yeah, there's no excuse. But it's still somebody who didn't get the word. And you're doing this for, how much does it cost the person?
Now, each person pays the fee of $0.00.
That's free.com.
That's free, man. It is free 99. It's free.
Yeah, free 99. That's right.
I'll take that back. It's not totally free because there is a cost. The cost is your time. In economics, there's this called opportunity cost. Like for everything that you actually do, there's a hidden opportunity cost of things that you could have done instead. So if you rather stay home and watch TV, you know, that's the type of thing that you would forego as a part of this event. But look, let me tell you, all you need is your time. And I'm doing this event at multiple locations across multiple days to ensure I don't waste and squander your time by making you wait in a long line like I used to. Now I'm getting more customer focused, working on the trimming the wait time. So I have an abundance of capacity, multiple locations, multiple days. Eager, helpful staff, fellow firearms trainers. I'm doing everything for having a live band play music out in the park.
And if it worked, you'd do that too.
Let me tell you, man. Hey, you got a group?
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
Hey, look, I'm not turning down nothing but my collar, man.
I heard that. 11 years of doing this, of bringing self-defense and smashing all the myths of gun ownership, allowing women to be able to protect themselves. How's the industry supporting you? How's other people helping you?
Oh, man, and you know what? I'm getting support all over the place, man. I mean, the biggest support, man, that I appreciate is all the fellow firearms companies, man, that are donating to be there to actually be the ones one-on-one with the actual students to actually teach them how to shoot. You know, the gun ranges that are allowing me to host this event it's been huge. Financial support I've gotten from GOA and NRA has been huge. The people who actually come and do appearances. You know, I got Mr. Top Shot showing up this year. You know, and usually I get a few local people who are in the community. They want to show up and get to FaceTime and meet people. Right? This gentleman from Doug, he's letting me use like 30 of his guns for free, and he doesn't even make it. You know, so he's giving you guns, all this ammo, you got space to do it, you got instructors and range day stops donating their time. You know, really what I have to do is get on shows far and wide, like Black Man with a Gun, that people know what I'm doing, and remove that excuse. I never knew such a program existed.
It's getting easier for information now, though, than it was when we first started. You got to admit that. There's people out there now that didn't struggle as hard as you did and get the word out.
Let me tell you, for all this new ways of communicating, nothing beats television, man. Nothing beats television. Television. And you know what? I received notification just about 35 minutes ago that one of the local TV shows, news show, is going to let me come on for like 10 minutes tomorrow.
Good.
So I got a 2-minute opportunity to book this event, man, and get the word out.
That's good stuff right there. So what got you? What got you to this point? How'd you get here?
How'd I get here?
Yeah. How'd you get so passionate about helping somebody?
Man, you know, we all see whatever ambitions we have in life, man, because we have people who you meet along the way, man. And as you figure out what it is that you're trying to accomplish, you walk down this journey, you meet all sorts of people you wouldn't ordinarily meet. Like, listening to your podcast years ago, man, and I was like, man, I got to take it down to Fort Mitchell, Kentucky to this gun rights policy conference just to meet this guy, Kenn. just to meet you, right? And figure out what my role was going to be. I was a firearms instructor, but I knew I wanted more. I just had no idea. So I followed you around like a lost puppy at the conference. Once you figured out I wasn't getting harmful, you didn't grouse too much. So made you my friend. Hey, man, I got the world licked.
No, man, you've been good from day one. You own the Midwest. We got people on the West Coast. We got people on the East Coast. You own the middle.
Man, look, I think I'm going to take some of the criticism I received from the local TV network. They're like, look, Rick, you're a local event. You know, we're trying to put our focus on national events. So I guess what we need to do is get people from all four corners of our great nation to do this thing on the same day and make it a national event. So I got to come up with a fancy name, with a fancy acronym. It'll be like Firearm Training Event Weekend. I don't know, bang, bang, shoot 'em up weekend, something, and just have it celebrated for sweet, shiny shit every year.
That's the way to scale up, though. That's a good plan, dude.
So I'm going to take the criticism I received from this news network. And
no, they're actually telling you where the need is.
Yeah,
they're telling you where the need is. I give an example. When I first started, I was Tough Guy Enterprises firearms instructor, and I had a little shop next to the range, and I was doing requalifications and certifications for cops and security guards.
Okay,
and it was crickets up in that joint because most of them guys did not want to be requalified. They just wanted their cards signed so they can keep working.
Right.
But I went to this meeting, and these guys were like, there's no African American group that's like prominent in the country. And I was like, really? So the next evite I had, they're like, so what business are you running? I had a new business card. It was called African American Arms and Instruction. So I just became the whole national thing, and I ran that for a minute. Yeah.
Okay.
So the criticism is a good criticism. They're telling you when you do the national thing, you'll be huge.
You know what? I will take that and not view it as an impediment, but as motivation to elevate to a higher level. And if they were trying to discourage me by giving me such a lofty goal, then I'm going to disappoint them by accomplishing it.
Yep. Yeah. And you the guy that can do it.
See, that's what I like, man. If I'm feeling, a little like mediocre, come talk to Kenn, man. It's like talking to the Oracle in the Matrix. You'll feel so much better. Right after you have that virtual cookie, man. You'll feel so much better and motivated, man. So, yeah, thank you for having me on today, man.
Yeah.
Just to give me that.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't look at the spoon. There is no spoon.
Right.
You gonna rock this, Neo. You gonna rock this.
Man, I'm telling you, because see, man, I consider myself so fortunate that I had you out there to follow and to model and figure out what I wanted to do. But I at least had you as my initial guide, man. So I tell you in private, I tell you in public, man, I'm thankful that you exist and that you've done with your life what you have, because you've given me purpose, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Sometimes I feel like that dude has the machete and he's cutting a bamboo and he's like, my arm's tired. But there's a whole bunch of people who done came behind me and done paved that road, and it's a highway now. But when I was in it,
but you know what? It all runs back to you, though.
Yeah, nobody remembers the bamboo and the weeds getting beat up. Yeah.
Oh man, just think about all the ambush videos and ambush ambush interviews you had to endure.
Yes.
All the slings, all
Yes.
the insults.
Yes.
I mean, coming at you from both sides, man. Called everything with the child of God you are, man. And you still kept going down that long, winding road, man.
Yeah, it was back in the day when Reverend Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson were prominent. I mean, there was some heavy hitters back in the day that they owned the media, and I was just the lone dude for a minute. So it's all good.
Yeah, man, I'm glad you walked that road, man. I mean, that road is tough, man, but you know what? It's cool if somebody went first and did reconnaissance and took those initial arrows and kind of gave us a little bit of cover.
Yeah.
Figure out what we're doing here.
Yeah, it's a good road now. There's people doing some great stuff. I mean, think about it. When we first started, there was no Google, there was no Facebook. I had a MySpace page of all things.
Oh man, yeah, I had a MySpace page too.
Yeah, that's how long we've been doing this thing. So I'm glad that you're still
my name on Facebook. See, you could do like aliases, right? I was Rick 9mm, man.
Yep. That's what I'm talking about. You've been at it a minute, man.
And I was a little dismayed when I followed everyone over to Facebook and I couldn't do that over here.
Yeah.
I was like, but I want to be Rick 9mm.
Yep, that's right.
And they're like, nope.
What a world.
But it's good though. You know, you can have all those pictures and apps all over your homepage and I remember I was just over there, and people were disappearing. I had no idea what was going on.
Oh, yeah.
And so I finally migrated over, and I'm like, oh, this is where everyone's at.
Yeah.
And so now only the old folks are on Facebook, and the party is somewhere else. It's over on all these other platforms.
Yeah.
And, you know, Kenn and Rick are still on Facebook.
It's become like when we first started watching television, there was only like 4 or 5 channels. And then then they got cable television.
Yeah.
It's cable television now. You can't tell where that joke is at. They just could be anywhere.
Man, you talk to people today, they won't believe you when you tell them TV used to actually go off like shortly after midnight. 11 o'clock, they would play the national anthem and show you the flag.
Yeah.
You know, blowing in the wind.
Yeah.
And then it would just be like white snow all over the screen until like 5 in the morning the next day.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, people are just spoiled with everything. They just don't realize how boring life could be. You didn't have like a really active social circle, you know?
But we all did.
But see, here's the other thing. I'm so glad that none of my shenanigans were broadcast all over social media.
Yes.
I get to pretend that I've been a great, upstanding citizen my whole life.
Same here. Same here. I would not be a preacher now. My stuff was out there in the open.
Right. And, you know, I'm just so surprised at how people are so freely distributing access to every minutia of their existence, good and bad, and don't realize that one day that might be a problem, like professionally one day.
Yeah, it already happens. How can folks contact you, man, to learn about your event and about what you got going on next?
The best places to find me on the internet, I would say, especially right now, I have my blog, Legally Armed in Detroit. Now that I've told you all about it, legallyarmedindetroit.com, I am going to be sufficiently motivated to update more, especially since I'm pushing this women's social media inspired firearm training event. Of course, I'm on social media. My handle, Detroit CCW, is applicable on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and I just joined one of those other ones. What's that new site where the videos are only like 15 seconds long? What's that one?
TikTok.
I'm on TikTok, man.
Okay. I had to think about it.
I only have like 4 videos on TikTok, but I'm there.
I hear you, man. Rick
One
Ector.
day TikTok might be my most popular page, but right now it's the flag.
Legally Armed in Detroit. This is the man, the myth, my friend, Rick Ector. Man, thank you for being on the show. Thank you for making me feel better. I mean,
and man, if you were down in the dumps, I'm here to tell you, there's nothing in the world to be down in the dumps about because, hey, a bunch of people like me that's glad that, one, you exist, two, you still here, and a resource for us to consult with if we need to. For real, glad you're here.
So when we have that, let's say, Second Amendment shooting event that you're going to be doing nationally, the 2A shoot, the annual 2A shoot.
All I need is a name. Yeah. All I need is a hot name.
Yeah.
It would be so appropriate if Kenn, Black Man with a Gun, Blanchard gave me the inspiration for finally naming this nationwide event.
Yeah, that 2A day.
And you all heard it here first.
Yeah, 2A day shoot. Yeah, it's happening.
No, man, that's not sexy. I need a name. I think it's got to be sexy.
What do you call a women's shoot now?
I call it the Legally Armed in Detroit Free Women's Shooting Event.
Okay.
Really bland, boring, and dry. I need something hot and flashy, catchy, and memorable. Something that inspires me to cover.
All right, guys. Everybody who's listening, think about the title and send it to Rick.
Free Women's Shooting Event this upcoming weekend. Next weekend on the 30th and the 31st. Free shooting for women. I supply everything. It'll be at Recoil Firearms. It will be at Top Gun Shooting Sports. Go to legallyarmedindetroit.com or find me, Rick Ector, Detroit CCW on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Get more info. And if you swing by Maryland, pick up Kenn.
Y'all heard him, right? Okay, man. Good deal. And if you got an idea for the name, the sexy name, let Rick know.
Sexy. It's got to be sexy.
Make it funky. I got you, man. All right.
Right. Come on, Bobby. Do your thing.
All right, guys.
What are you always putting Bobby on the spot?
Yeah, always at the last minute. Whatsoever you do, make it funky.
The Minister of Defense, the pastor of paladins, patriots, and pistoleros will be right back after these commercials.
Hi, I'm Mark Craighead, founder of Crossbreed Holsters. I designed our top-selling holster, the Super Tuck Deluxe, to solve the problems of being poked, pinched, and gouged while carrying concealed. The Super Tuck Deluxe is the most comfortable, most concealable holster on the market today. We offer a 2-week free trial and a lifetime warranty.
Visit us at crossbreedholsters.com. Don't forget crossbreedholsters.com.
This show is part of BlanchardNetwork.com. That's right, it's a podcast network.
Welcome to Indian Motorcycle Radio, and I'm your host, Reverend Kenn Blanchard.
And then there's Speak Life Church podcast, in hopes of encouraging your spirit, feeding your faith, and blessing your life.
Proverbs 18:21. I will speak life.
And if you're into the gun community, there is the Black Man with a Gun show.
BlackManWithAGun.com. Kenn Blanchard's Pro Gun Podcast.
And then there's my son, Kenn Blanchard Jr.
To the Warrior Cast Podcast, where we talk about all things martial arts, combat sports, UFC, boxing, and all the sort, pop culture, all things anime, video games, and sci-fi, and everything in between.
I'm a warrior, I'm here to stay. My mind is sharp, I don't play no games. I'm a warrior.
And you can find all of these at BlanchardNetwork.com. All right, I want to thank Rick again for digging me out of the dungeon and helping me get this back on track. Check out legallyarmedindetroit.com and you can find out all about the event that's happening next week, July 30th, in the Motor City. There'll be a link to everything in the show notes. Again, I want to thank you for listening, downloading, and being a part of my life. It's been one heck of a ride, and I'm not getting off yet. Just in case nobody else has told you this today, I love you, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it. Until the next time you hear my voice, hopefully it'll be next week. Shalom, baby.
Until next time, friends.
To keep in touch with Kenn and his cause, head over to blackmanwithagun.com.
Now I gotta fix up my website. Good Lord.